CGM. It's basically in the shipping industry. Uh, that's it. About me. So,
Okay. So why do you want to learn the AWS?
yeah, actually, my profile is purely based on web server. So,
Mm-hmm.
AWS, if I am learning about cloud computing, it will help us to improve my performance. That's why I'm proud to learn.
Okay, okay. Fine. Okay. Thanks for introduction, boss. Okay. Then we are moving on to Shankar. Okay, boss, you can go on mute. If you are not speaking, you can go on mute.
Yes, yes.
Shankar?
Yeah, hi. So I'm working with Fidelity, and I'm a DBA come PL SQL developer. So the purpose of joining this training is they're going to implement AWS in our project. So I want to know about the computing. So that's why I've joined here.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, thank you, Shankar. And now
Yeah.
can we have from Shrikant? Shrikant? Okay, so I think Shrikant will be busy with something, or maybe he will be having a problem in his microphone. Okay, so here with no more delay, let me start the session. So here the sessions will be recorded, so for your convenience, so I will be uploading in one of my cloud storage, so you can able to access the videos at your convenient timings. Okay. So now here, starting with the introduction of the cloud computing. So before getting into the actual picture of the AWS, before getting into the actual picture of AWS, first we will discuss about what the cloud computing is all about and why we are using the AWS one of it. Okay, right. Okay, guys, if you are not speaking, please go on mute. Okay, guys, if you are not speaking, please go on mute.
Hello?
Yeah, Shankar. Okay, right. Okay. So, okay. So here we are starting with the cloud computing basics here. Okay. So now here I am assuming that you are having a very blank idea about the cloud computing. So this is your knowledge about the cloud computing. So when we hear about the cloud computing word from our friends, or when we see it through from the Google or anywhere else, the first image which will strike in our mind is the actual cloud. So there are many relations why the word cloud has been derived. So here we cannot able to give a particular size of a cloud. So can you able to anyone define the size of a cloud in the all over the world? So no one can able to do that. So here that derives, so whatever the services or in terms of storage or in terms of the manipulation. So here we cannot have a particular size of it. Here we can able to have the unlimited size of each and everything. So that is the word which is derived as a cloud, and the computing is the processing power. So there is an unlimited power or the storage for whatever the processor which we are using. It can be in terms of storage, in terms of network, in terms of computing power, or in terms of the network bandwidth, whatever it is. Okay. So here the cloud computing mainly focuses on the three platforms. Okay, so that is one is the infrastructure and the platform as a service and the application. So here we will be mainly focusing on the infrastructure as a service. So here people will be worrying about whether I would come across whether all the three services. So we don't want to break our head by learning all the three. Okay, so we don't want to get deep into all the three technologies, but we should have a knowledge of the three services. So here this infrastructure is called as the IaaS, and the platform as a service is called as the PaaS, the application or a software. So this is called as the SaaS. So here in our AWS CSA certification course, so what we are going to discuss for the next 12 days. So here we will be concentrating most of the services which is offered in the IaaS. Okay, so what are the main tasks which we will be discussing in the IaaS as a service? Okay, so when we consider the cloud, so here I have the basic service, that is the infrastructure. Okay, so here why do we have the infrastructure as a basic? Now, when we create any application or a software, so what are the basic need which is required? Can anyone able to answer now? So I want this session also needs to go with an interactive one. So when you want to develop a software, what are the basic elements which is required for you?
Hardware.
Okay, hardware. Okay, exactly. So even when you want to develop a program in the C or C++, so you will be in need of a CPU, the hard disk, and the RAM for your for the processing speed, and so on, right? So here the infrastructure basically covers with are the hardware properties. That is the CPU, that is the processor, and for the storage the hardware, and for the computing power the RAM. So here, since the infrastructure is mainly dealing with the processor, storage, and the computing, so this is the base which we will in need of when we are developing any software or a application. And now, so with that, okay, so with that infrastructure here, mainly we will be concentrating on the hosting part. Now, say for an example, you are having one of a web server, or any application server, so which is hosted within your company. So when some of the people are customers, when they are accessing the same, so they are happy. So they are happy at the initial stage. They are happy at the initial stage, but the day by day when the number of customers are increasing, so there are some customers who are unhappy. So that might be a reason, because of the traffic is high, because of the traffic congestion. So the CPU will not be able to in a position to withstand the traffic, so that the application will get slowed down, right? So application will get slowed down, and obviously the customers will become unhappy. So this is the traditional way when people are accessing the server within their company. Okay, so now the server is placed inside the premises of the company. That is, we used to call it as the traditional data center. Now, let's say when I'm hosting my servers, on the cloud, I can able to see some of the customers are happy. So when the day by day when the customers are increasing, I can able to parallelly increase my servers also onto the cloud. So whether in case of a company where I need to procure the servers. Okay, let's say I need to get the costing from my IT department, and I need to have a respective engineers like network engineers, Linux admin, Windows admin, and so on. So, and we need to install the OS, and the rest of the things has to be done, where it will be taking 5 to 6 days of time to build a new server. But whereas in the cloud, when the number of customers are increasing, I can able to increase the servers automatically. So this is, we used to call it as the auto scaling up. Okay, auto scaling up. So here we don't want to do any manual intervention. When the traffic is getting increased, parallelly the servers numbers also will get increased in order to withstand the traffic, and also to give the seamless performance of the application. So this is the one of the reason why we are going for the cloud infrastructure. Okay, so we don't want to take a headache of managing the hardwares. So we can concentrate on our business, okay, and also on developing the code, and let the infrastructure part, let it be taken care by the cloud service. So for that reason, here we are hosting our servers in the cloud. Okay, now let's take a common example. So how we can able to access the data into the cloud? Let's say the client side can have any type of device. Let's say mobile, laptop, or a desktop, or whatever it is. Now here, so whatever the cloud application which we have, so basically we need a very good internet connection. So when we are having a very good internet connection, we can able to access the cloud data. Either it is Gmail or Rackspace or Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever it is. Okay. So now when we are saying the cloud, okay. So what the cloud is actually about? Okay, what is the cloud is all about? Okay, so whether it is an imaginary, when we used to say, I have my people used to say my application is running on the cloud. I have hosted my data onto the cloud. I have my photos onto the cloud. But where it is actually, whether it is an imaginary or invisible thing, which is means of a cloud? No. So the word cloud defines as nothing but a physical data center. Okay, so and a physical data center, so which is providing the unlimited access for the storage network and everything, is nothing but the cloud. So cloud is nothing but a physical data center which is present at some parts of the world. Okay, and what is a data center here? Okay, to be more precise, the data center which will be consisting of the number of CPUs, okay, for processing, and the number of storage devices to store our data, and the number of networking devices to access our data. So in this case, so here we can able to have the data center. So the data center, apart from the CPU storage and the networking device, it will be having lots more devices on a simple scale. On a simple scale, the data center will be having these components. So when you are saving the data into your cloud, is nothing but your data is physically saved in somewhere else in the data center. Okay, it is not an imaginary product. Okay, so here you could be able to see some of the real-time data centers which is in and around the world. So here you could be able to see big and a very big hall, which will be consisting of the many servers, storage devices, power consumption devices, and here the people will be working. Here they are called as the data center engineers. So who will be very strong in the basic and the advanced concept of the power consumption, servers, storage, and everything. So when you are saving the data into the cloud, so your data is being saved in one of these data centers for sure. Okay. And what are the other reasons why we want to go for the cloud computing? So to be precise, and when we need to use the cloud computing. Okay, and at what circumstance we need to use the cloud computing. So to answer those here, we need to understand the four terminologies of the cloud computing. That is the high availability, fault tolerance, scalability, and the elasticity. So now let's have the clear understanding of these four terminologies of the cloud computing. Okay, so now starting with the high availability. Okay, I think from the word itself you can able to derive the meaning of the high availability. So high availability means so highly available from anywhere at any time. I need to access my data. So that is the high availability. Let's say consider this example. So here I'm having my mobile, my desktop, and my laptop. So when I'm saving the file within my mobile phone. Okay, the next day I'm going to the office. I'm from my office laptop. I'm trying to get the file or access the file. So where I have left the phone in my home itself. So that is then a local storage which has been created in your phone. So here when we are doing in such a way, we cannot able to access the file. So instead, what I'm doing here is from my phone, if I am uploading the data into the cloud environment, if I'm uploading the data into the cloud environment, so wherever I go, I can able to access the same data either from my office laptop or from my home desktop or anywhere. So that is the high availability. When you are storing the data into the cloud, you can able to access the data from anywhere, from at any time. So that is the reason why that is the reason for the high availability. And now let's say when you are saving the data into the local storage of your mobile. Okay, let's say in your memory card. Okay, and due to some issue, your memory card is got into a problem. So how can you able to access your data? Let's say when you are saving some data in your local hard disk in your home PC, when there is a crash or your hard disk is formatted, whether can you able to retrieve your data? So obviously no. So for that reason, here we are saving our data into the cloud, and we are accessing from any other devices at any time. So that is the meaning of the high availability. So I want to access my data from anywhere at any time. So this is on a personal scale. Now let's have the another example in the enterprise level. Now see here, in the enterprise level, let's say we are having the Netflix.com. So as you know that the Netflix.com provides the movie services. So where even a single movie which will be having a size of 7 or 10 GB, the minimum size. So when they want to host the much data into the data center. Okay, so they will be considering the three different data centers. That is here for India customer, they are having the data into the India data center. For US customer, they are hosting in US. For Europe customer, for in the Europe data center. And why can't they have a single data center? Even from US, they can able to serve for the whole world, right? Okay, guys, I want the class to be a little bit interactive. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sometime government policy.
Sorry, government policy.
Yeah, I mean maybe
Okay.
sometimes data center crash can be happen anytime, right? So we can store the data in many places, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. So the reasons are right. So if something happens, if something happens to the India data center, so still I can able to access the data from the US data center. So that is here in hard term here we used to call it as the disaster recovery. That is the DR. So here all the data center will be in sync. All the data center will be in sync, so that the data, even if there is a crash on any one data center, we can able to bring the data or access the data from the other data center. So that is the again the high availability. Okay. Okay. So the second one, fault tolerance. Okay, so from the word itself we can able to derive the meaning of the fault tolerance. So here, so what is the meaning of the tolerance? So the tolerance is the overcome. Okay, the overcome of a particular situation or a particular process. How you can overcome of a particular process, and the fault. So here the fault is how you can overcome and a fault. So when there is a fault, how you can able to overcome that. So let's say when I have some data in my mobile, when my mobile is got crashed, how can I able to access the data from my mobile? So obviously when it is in the local storage, I cannot able to access, right? Now say for an example, even if you are running in a small company, okay, let's say you guys are starting in a small company, let's say biryani.com, some online biryani services. Okay, so when you are hosting a service, okay, when you are hosting your services, the server which is within your home. Okay, so here when there is a power loss in your home, when there is a power loss in your or some crash in your servers, so your application will not go online. So at that time what you can do it, so we don't have any fault tolerance method. So for that case, here we will be storing all our data into the cloud, and from the cloud, even when there is a loss in one machine, still the data will be accessible from the other machines. So that is the fault tolerance. Okay, so here you could able to see when there is a disaster in one of a data center, still the data will be accessible from the other data center, and for that reason here we will be using the fault tolerance method. Okay, the next one. So what are the two more terminologies which is left out? So we have seen high availability and the fault tolerance. What are the two more terminologies? Guys,
Hello.
yeah, what are the two more terminologies left out? Here we have discussed high availability and the fault tolerance.
It's
Sorry?
pay as you
Okay, right,
yes.
right. So here the next two things here which we're going to discuss is scalability and the elasticity. So before getting into the actual picture of scalability and the elasticity, so here I would take you to the pay as you use. So this is the main concept which is in the cloud computing. Now consider you want to buy a car. Okay, so that is for your traveling purpose. That is for your transportation on a daily basis. You are planning to buy a car. So when you are buying the car, there are some consideration which you need to make into it. So that is you need to have the whole investment to buy a car. Okay, that is, or you can get into an EMI option for paying the money. And second thing is you should know how to drive the car, right? And the third thing is you should know how to maintain it. That is, you should also take care of the maintenance part. So one is the large investment, second one is you should know how to drive the car, and the third one is you should also know how to maintain the car. Else you need to also spend some cash for your maintenance too. Okay, so now there is another way to make your transportation still. Okay, so the another way is I can able to use a taxi. So when I'm using a taxi, so here I'm going to here I'm going to pay for what I'm going to use, right? So here should I make any huge investment to buy a car? No. Whether should I know the driving? No. Whether should I care about the maintenance? No. So just I'm going to drive the car and I'm going to pay for the for my as per the usage. Let's say for 1 kilometer it is 10 rupees, something like that. So here in the same way, in the cloud also, here you are going to use some of the services and you are going to pay for it. Let's say if your server is going to run only on Saturday and Sunday, you are going to pay only for those 2 days. Instead of buying the whole server and maintaining a data center, when you are maintaining the data center, what are the other complexities which you will involve? You need to buy, you need to get a network engineer, and then you need the system engineers like Windows, Linux, or database engineers, and the respective engineers, and you need to pay the salary for them and to maintain the data center. So in short, what I'm doing here it is, I'm just going to get the infrastructure from the cloud, and I'm going to pay what I'm going to use it. Okay, so here I'm not making any huge investment as like the buying the car. Okay, now coming on to the scalability. Okay, now let's consider we have the eBay application. Okay, that is we have the one of an enterprise giant, that is the eBay. So in the January month, I can able to see there are some of the customers who are accessing the eBay application. So the day by day, the number of customers are getting increased. Day by day, the number of customers are getting increased. And the number of getting increased, still the application is working fine. Now, for when in the January month, I am in the eBay customers are having the 100 users. For that, they are paying the $1,000 to the cloud computing service. That is the service provider. It may be AWS, or it may be Azure, or it may be GCP, okay, Google Cloud platform, or it may be a Rackspace or anything else. At the February month, they are having 200 users and they are paying 2000 rupees. Okay, in the March month they are having 400 users and they are paying $4,000. So here, depend on the number of usage, they are paying the amount to the cloud service provider. So here I am not making, when I'm starting my business at the January month, I'm not making a whole investment, something like 1 lakh, the $1 lakh or 2 lakhs dollar or 1 crore, something like that as in a big budget. So here I'm just going to pay so whatever my usage. Okay, so in such a way the scalability will be working. So when your business is getting increased, okay, then you can be able to increase your budget and you can able to pay the respective charges to your cloud service provider. The next one is the elasticity. So before getting into the actual concept of the elasticity, so simply consider the concept of a rubber band. So why with the rubber band, what we will be doing? So we used to get shrink and the extend. So here with the same concept here, let's say in the January month, the eBay was having a business for 100 users, so that they paid the $1,000. At February month, they had 200 users. Okay, and for that they had paid $2,000. Okay, being as an optimist, so let's say the month by month my business is increasing. So in the March month, I would expecting the number of users would be 400 or 500, being as an optimist, right? So now, but unfortunately, there is a dip in my business. That March, there is a dip in my business. Only 150 users are accessing my application. Okay, and for that here I am going to pay only the $1,500. Okay, so here I am going to pay only the $1,500. So that is the elasticity. So here I am going to pay whatever the usage, that is as per my usage. So here I am not building any data center here by investing the whole money. So instead of having a data center, I have getting the infrastructure services from the one of a cloud provider. So for that, here I am going to pay as per my usage. So this is the scalability and the elasticity. And to to make more clear, so here I have the differentiation between the scalability and the elasticity. So how it can be differentiated. So the scalability meaning is, so only it's is as it's growing, and the elasticity is where it is going in the ups and down mode. So the another example which you can able to take for the scalability is we can take consider our age. So our age will be keep on increasing, 1 to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So whenever it will come back. And the elasticity is, you can take the meaning, you can take the example as a rubber band. So you are going to pay as you use. So this both the elasticity and the scalability, which will be applicable in terms of the CPU engine power, the storage capacity, the storage. Let's say day one you are using 10 GB, day two you want to use 20 GB. So the storage can be increased or decreased, and the network bandwidth. So these applies. So all these four terminology applies to all of these concepts. Okay, so this is all about the terminologies of the cloud computing. So now here, so the companies whoever using the cloud services, so here they are happy. So here and on another point here, I will not say all the companies are 100% they are using the cloud services. No. So let's say here they are using, so currently they are using some 20 to 40 percentage. They are using the 20 to 40 percentage of the cloud services. Okay, so once they are feeling comfortable with the services, and when they are understanding the terminologies in the cloud, so by the end of next 5 years or 7 years, so everyone will be on the cloud, and that's for sure. Okay. So this is all about the cloud computing, the basics. And next here we are moving on to the types of the cloud. Okay. Okay. So coming on to the types of cloud, here we have the private, public, hybrid, and the community. Okay, let's consider the private cloud. Okay, the first. So private cloud is nothing but, so each and every offices, okay, each and every offices, they will be maintaining their own data center. So when they are maintaining their own data center, that is called as the private cloud. So that is, in terms, it is called as the traditional data center. Now for an example,
Hello.
yes, yes.
So actually, I'm unable to hear your voice. Okay, so I think some disturbance happened.
Okay, people who are not speaking can go on mute. Okay. Okay, so coming back to the private cloud here, let's say like the TCS office will be maintaining their own the data centers. So that is for all their employees. They will be having their inbuilt servers and the storage devices for all their employees. Okay, so from their data center, they will be accessing all the services. So like that here, when we have the other companies like the Infi or any other company, they will be also having their own data centers. So likewise the all the companies. So that is private is, so only when we can able to access the data only inside the campus. So only when we are inside the campus of our offices, we can able to access the organization data. So that is the private cloud. So whether you have tried to access the company's data from the outside, so from the outside also we can able to access it. That is by using the another technology called the VPN. So here we don't want to discuss about that right now. So which is also in our topic. So this is all about the private cloud. So each and every organization will be having their own data center. So where their employees can able to access it only when they are inside their campus. Okay, the next one is the public cloud. So now the public cloud here we can say the examples which we are having currently as the AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform, or the Rackspace, or the IBM what is it? IBM Bluemix. Okay, like that, these are the leading the public cloud providers currently in the market. So when I'm using the public cloud, when I'm using the public cloud, so here I can able to allot some space for the Infosys, and I can allot some space for the CTS, I can allot some space for the TCS too. So here the cloud services provider is the AWS. So here having a proper security. So from the AWS here I will be availing some of the services from AWS for a TCS, for CTS and the Infosys. So it depends upon the various type of accounts which we have. Okay. So when I'm having the public cloud here I don't want to maintain the private data center within my office. Okay, I don't want to maintain the private data center within my office. So think of by this scenario. So when I'm having the data center, so here let's say I need some the 50 engineers. 50 engineers in the sense, let's say 10 Linux admin, 10 Windows admin, and 10 DB database administrators, right? And another 10 network engineers, and so on. So when I'm having the private cloud, so here I need to manage with this manpower resource also. But when we are hosting our applications in the public cloud, so we can able to avoid having the engineers in this case. Instead of 50, I can go for the 20 engineers. So once the applications are deployed in the public cloud, and again to maintain that, here I would need the some of the engineers. So that can be brought down to the 20. So in the further classes you will understand how the infrastructure can be maintained from 10 engineers to 2 engineers. So in such a way here we will be deploying or creating the applications within a very short span of time. So this is the public cloud here. So the next one is the hybrid cloud. Okay, so in the hybrid cloud here we can say about the hybrid cloud in the two format. So the private cloud plus public cloud. So when these both are getting merged, so here we can say this is the hybrid cloud. So when one company, let's say when we are having the Honeywell, okay, the Honeywell, when it is using the private cloud and also the public cloud, it is said as a hybrid cloud. So what exactly is the private plus public? Now let's say within my data center, that is my private cloud. So within my data centers here I will be having the lot of the servers which will be running on it. Okay, which will be running on it. So let's say here all the servers are 100% is got utilized. 100% is got utilized with this usual work. So only for the few other servers, let's say here I need to take the statistics. I need to save the statistics, or let's say I need to get the some analytical report. Okay, so to get those things here, my data center is not having the sufficient power, or I can say the sufficient CPU power. So only for this reason I am approaching the public cloud. Okay, only to take the statistics and the analytical reports analytical report, something like the number of users who are accessing my application, okay, and what is the load average, what is the load average of my each and every application, and the users from the different part of the regions. So here running the application is a one task, and here we need to do the performance on the monitoring. For the performance and monitoring, here I don't have any infrastructure within my data center. So here for those cases, here I'm getting the help from the public. So that is here called as the hybrid cloud. When an organization uses both the private and the public, so that can be called as the hybrid cloud. And the next one is the community cloud. So what is the community cloud? Now let's say here I have I have on a building. I have on a building and a store building, okay, which is of the 5 floors. Okay, so which is of some 5 floors. Okay, so let's say in the ground floor here I am having the office of the Pizza Hut, and in the second floor, let's say here I am having the bank called the Motor, and in the third layer here I am having some electronic gadget shop, and here some visa processing, and here some training institute. Okay, so here when I'm having in a building, when I'm having the different organization, so each and every organization for their data center, okay, for their data center, each and every company is using, let's say, 1 lakh. Okay, each and every company is using the 1 lakh of amount for their data center. So totally, which comes to the 5 lakh. So now here, being as a cloud service provider, what I'm suggesting here it is, so on the ground floor here I'm going to make a single data center. So in the ground floor here I'm going to make a single data center of their requirement, okay, of their requirement, and the service I am going to provide for each and every floors. Okay, so the cost of this and the maintenance of making this data center and a common data center, here I am making only within the 2.5 lakhs. Within 2.5 lakhs. So within 2.5 lakhs, here I am making the data center, so that here each and every organization can able to spare only the 50,000, right? Only the 50K. So that is when I'm having the community from the different vendors, I can able to build up a data center. So that is the community cloud. So in this community cloud, which is restricted only to this 5 organizations. So you guys can also compare this with the public cloud also. So public cloud is unlimited from anywhere, from any country, from any parts of the world. Let's say US or Europe or Asia or Middle East, from anywhere can able to access the public cloud. So community cloud is not something like that. So community cloud is where the particular organization will be getting involved, and they will be making a particular data center or infrastructure, and from there they will be taking their services, where the cost will be divided by all of them. That is 2.5 lakhs divided by the 5. So monthly they are going to spend only the 50K. So that is the community cloud here. So these are the, so you will when you are working into the cloud technologies, so you will be coming across, they will be asking you whether your organization is using a private cloud or public cloud or hybrid or community. So where you will be in a position to answer the same. Okay, so getting on to the next part. Okay, the cloud service models. So here we say the cloud service model as IaaS, PaaS, and the SaaS. Okay, so that is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and the software as a service. Okay, right. So here I am just differentiating the difference in all the 3. Okay, so now consider. So when we are working in the IT environment, when we are working in the IT environment, let's talk about from the base materials. So here we would require the networking devices. That is, when you are sitting in front of a computer, when you are accessing any of the company's applications from the server, then basically we will be in need of a storage, networking, the servers, and the virtualizations for creating the many types of machines, and the OS, either it can be Windows or Linux, and the middleware applications like Oracle WebLogic or IBM WebSphere or Red Hat JBoss, the runtime environment, something like PLSQL or Java or IDE or C or anything else, and the data which you are using for it, and then once the application is ready. So when we want to develop a data and processing it, and before delivering it to the client, so where we will be undergoing all these stages. So networking, storage, servers, virtualization, OS, and everything. So here this different stages has been splitted into three. That is the IaaS, PaaS, and the SaaS. So what is the IaaS is responsible for? Okay, what is the IaaS is responsible for? The infrastructure. The infrastructure here, it is responsible for the networking, storage, servers, and the virtualization. So you can, even after completing this course, you can project yourself as I am a IaaS admin. So IaaS admin means what it actually means. So you can able to develop an infrastructure into the cloud. You can able to develop an infrastructure into the cloud by making a proper networking connection, storage, servers, and the virtualization technology. So in that way, here you will be considered as the IaaS admin. Okay, and the next one coming on to the PaaS. So the PaaS is the platform as a service. So now let's say here in the platform as a service, now all the servers are ready. Okay, now here I am asking you to develop a mobile application or any Android application. Okay, so how you will be developing? So you are having the infrastructure, everything is ready. CPU is ready, desktop is ready, keyboard, mouse. You can able to start your OS and everything is ready. Now you will be in need of a platform, right? Whether you are going to develop your product in the C++, or whether you are going to develop in the Java, or whether you are going to develop in the .NET. So which platform you will need? So here I need to make that ready as being as a PaaS admin. As being as a PaaS admin, so here in the cloud, I need to create a platform so that you can develop a product in the respective environment. So that is provided by the PaaS. So what type of OS which is needed by you, whether it is Windows or Linux or any other OSs. And what is the middleware product, like as said earlier, WebLogic or WebSphere or JBoss or the Apache Tomcat which we have. Okay, and by using all this, you can able to create a platform for a developers. So this PaaS is mainly focused on the development platform. This is mainly focused on the development platform mainly for the developers. Okay, and the next one is the SaaS, software as a service. So here, once the product is developed, so now the infrastructure is ready, and using the platform, my product is ready. Okay, now what is remaining? Now product is also ready. What is remaining?
SaaS.
Yeah, the SaaS is remaining. So okay. So in terms of the real time, the remaining case is I will need to use the product. Right, I need to use the product. Let's say the food is ready. Okay, by having all the ingredients, C++, Java, and the net. Okay, my food is ready. Now I need to start consuming it. Okay, now I need to start consuming my food. Okay, so here the food or let's say the software. So there are two ways of consuming it. So if you are having a software now, in the olden days, so we were using the software by installing on your OS, that is into your Windows machine. So you would have come across installing the Windows XP software, right? So once you have installed the Windows XP OS, can you able to work on the Word document and the Excel document? Once you have installed the Windows XP OS, whether can you able to work on the MS-DOS and the Excel documents, or can you?
No,
No, why?
the Excel we need the different, right? We need code, right?
Okay, right. So here, so once though our OS is ready, so we need to manually install. Okay, we need to manually install this MS. We need to install the MS Office, right? We need to install the MS Office. So let's say when you want to play some music, you need to install the VLC player or the Windows Media Player. Okay, so whatever the software which is required for run application, where you need to manually install on your machine. But whereas in the SaaS, but whereas in the SaaS environment, so once the product is developed, so once a product is developed from coming across the IaaS, PaaS and the SaaS, so whether it is used as a web application. So web application is that is through your browser. Through your browser, you can able to use it, that is without installing the software. That is without installing it, without without the installing it. So now you would have come across the nowadays you would have come across the Google Docs. So where within the browser, here we can able to within the browser here I can able to edit the Word or Excel document here. Let's say, okay, here we go. Okay, so now here you could able to see. So within my okay. So within my drive here, I can able to open an Excel sheet. So in a browser, and I can able to also start editing it. Right? I can able to start editing it. So that is the advantage of the SaaS without installing the software, where you can able to use the application. So even for playing a music, what you can do, you can directly go for any music website. Let's say Wing, the Wing.com. So they will be having the inbuilt music player. Okay, so where you don't want to have a VLC player which is installed in your machine, so directly you can able to go for the inbuilt music player which will be available within the browser. Okay, so this is the example for the SaaS. So where the application will be used within the browser, where it does not require the manual installation into your computer. So that is the use of a SaaS here. On another scale here, you could able to have a look on this IaaS, PaaS and the SaaS. So in the IaaS, what we are doing here, so we are working as an infrastructure as a service. That is, we are making the infrastructure as it. That is, we are constructing our home. Okay, and the PaaS as a service. So here all the development, okay, all the development work will be handled on. And as a IaaS service admin, we need to create the platform for them. So once a product has been built, then people will be start consuming the software. That is in terms of email or CRM or the ERP software solutions. So these are the different stages of the cloud which the product is being developed from the stage 1 to the last stage. So here we can able to define we are at the what level. Okay, either we are going to work as an IaaS admin or PaaS admin or the SaaS admin. So SaaS admin is currently we don't have in the market. So either you will be going it with the PaaS admin or the IaaS admin. Okay, so where you need to have the knowledge on the both. So that whether to build the environment and also so that your developers has to be start working on it. Okay, so let me give you an example. Okay, okay, let's say here something from Bose. So Bose, since as you said you are a PHP developer, so when you are installing the software on your machine locally, so what are the problems which you have come across? Let's say you are using the version of some PHP version of 1.6, but immediately you need to go for 2.0. So what will be your actions on that?
I have to read this whole library file.
Okay, okay. So changing of library
Then,
files. Okay,
then I have to upgrade my middleware.
okay. Upgrading it. Okay, okay. Since okay,
Then
so
if
yeah.
there released any patch file, we have to update that patch file.
Okay, so that is the cache clear. Okay. On top of it, you should get the approval from your. On top of it, you should get the approval,
CB.
right, from your bookshop.
Yes, correct.
Right.
Correct, correct. We need to
Yeah.
get approval to upgrade the
Yeah.
package.
So here we will be in charge of getting the approval and doing the manual installation. Even if it is not working in the 2.0, then I need to go for the 3.0 version. And again, so here there will be no time wasting on developing the product. So here, in the past, what will happen here is, let's say here we will be having a drop down box. So here we will be having PHP 1.6, PHP 2.0, PHP 3.0. So here we can able to select any one and we can start developing the code. So when we are having a fast environment, so that is an advantage. And also, you don't want to install it manually. So here everything is going to work based on the browser. Okay. So now even we can able to see, you would have guys come across like developing an C or C++ program within the browser or executing the Unix command within the browser. Let me show you the few things. Let's say C compiler on browser and browser tool. Okay, see here. Can you able to see online C compiler? That is the online editor. So here within the browser, here we can able to develop the C program rather than installing it manually. So here see now we can able to see the online browser code as well. Say here you can able to type your code and you can say run it and you can debug it and also you can able to save it. So all your files will be saved onto the cloud and not onto the local machine. Okay. So likewise here is so that is the IDE. So that is the integrated development environment. So whatever the environment which is needed for you, you can choose it accordingly and you can start developing it. So this platform, so this IDE platform is created by our cloud admins for our developers. So in such a way, the development also will be the development works will be made easy when we are using the PaaS environment. So all the works will be done within the browser. Okay. So this is all about the types of the service models of the cloud. So here and one more diagram which you could be able to see to work on the cloud or to have application on the cloud. The basic is the basic here we have the IaaS infrastructure as a service and second one the platform which we need to have to create a software and to deliver or to consume the software, here we are having the SaaS. So from the baseline IaaS, PaaS and the SaaS. So by this way, you can able to use an application from end to end cloud services. Okay. So here, okay. So here I am done with the cloud computing basics. So which is mainly of the terminology. Sorry, one second. So which is mainly of the terminologies: high availability, fault tolerance, scalability, and elasticity. And in terms of types of cloud, private, public, hybrid, and community. And in terms of service model, IaaS, PaaS, and the SaaS. And now jumping on to the AWS software. Okay. See here, though we are having a mini cloud service product. So can you just tell me why AWS is very famous among the people on a generic note, according to your knowledge? So this is something like a discussion. Though we have many cloud service providers, why AWS is became as a common and a famous one? Guys, I'm expecting the answer from you all.
Availability.
Okay, in Azure, from Azure also I'm having availability. I can able to have the 24/7 availability.
Scalability.
Okay, scalability is also there in all the cloud platforms. So that is when we want to increase our infrastructure, we can able to increase in terms of storage, computing power, the networking.
User friendly.
Okay, you can give a try. Okay, right. Okay, right. So here, though we are having many products onto the market, that is AWS and Azure and IBM Bluemix and so on, GCP and so on. Right. So here, when we are having the different products, the main reason for the AWS is, so here the AWS is playing a vital role by having the all kind of products or the all kind of softwares, all kind of softwares. Whereas this Azure, the Azure is keep on promoting only the Microsoft products, something like the MS, the Microsoft servers and Microsoft Office product and the Microsoft SharePoint and the Microsoft the Exchange servers for the DB purpose and the Microsoft Visio. So here again, when we are using the Azure, they are implementing us to use most of the products only from the Microsoft. But whereas when you are using the AWS, where you will be having the access, vast access to the Microsoft and to the Linux environment, and also the other open source environment like what we can say, the MongoDB, NoSQL DB, and so on, and the Nagios monitoring tool. Okay, so these are the open source. And when we come across the IBM Bluemix, so IBM is one of the things which is famous for their power missions. Okay, so again they are making the implementation everything in the power servers or in the blade servers, everything with that. And only we need to go for the IAX OS. So IAX OS can be implemented only in the blade servers or only in the power servers. which is a known fact to everyone, people who are working in the infrastructure services, mainly on the infrastructure services, people would not know who are working in the development side. So here you can able to install the Red Hat in any hardware machines. You can able to install the Windows Server in any hardware machines. But whereas this AXOS, you can able to install only on the Blade servers or on the Power machines. That is from the idea. So here we are having some monopoly restrictions when we are using the Azure and the Bluemix and the other cloud services. But whereas the AWS is playing a neutral part. So since AWS is playing a neutral part, so we can able to use any type of software by using the AWS cloud services. So AWS is currently providing the services in terms of the virtualization, in terms of security purpose, analytics. Analytics is like taking the analytics of your company's data usage, performance, and everything. And in terms of database, they are providing the Microsoft database, Oracle database, and many other databases. And the computing power, that is our CPU engine, and the storage in terms of block storage, file storage, and the networking. So networking like in terms of VPN, VPC, and so on, and the development tools. So for each and every different platform, whether it is a Java or PHP or .NET, whatever it is, a platform can be created by using the development tools. So here we can able to have these kind of services from the AWS, and which we are going to see right now. Right. So before using the AWS services, so what is the necessary parameter which we need to have? Whether we are going to install the AWS software in our machine? No. So we are not going to install the software anything manually into your machine. So here we are going to create a free account into the AWS. So by using the free account, you can able to avail the services from the AWS. So let me show you the AWS My Login. So how I am using it. So this is the AWS console page, so which you are able to see now, and which is my account, where you can able to see as my login name as Harun Natarajan, and here you could be able to see the different types of these services. So that is EC2, IAM, S3, VPC, billing, and the many other services. So here once we have created the free account, we can able to use the AWS services, and we can start playing with that. Okay, so the word start playing with that means, so here we need to play carefully in the AWS account, else your monthly bill will come as 10,000 or 20,000 or even 1 lakh. So here I will be also guiding you in terms of do's and the don'ts of the AWS account. Okay, right. So here when we are using the free account into the AWS, so here there will be some restrictions in using in each and every software. AWS free account. So here you could able to see my mission. So there are some certain limitations in using the AWS services. So here you could able to see the 12 months of free and the always free products, but restricted to the some limitations. So EC2 they are giving only 750 hours per month. So what is EC2 here? EC2 is a EC2 is an instance, that is a CPU. Okay, your one server. Okay, so if your server is running for 1 day, how much time? What is the time consumption will be? If it is running for one whole day.
Before.
24. Okay, so 24. So 24 hours it is running. So all the 30 days, means, so which will come to the 720 hours. So the extra they will be giving as a 30 hours. That is, even if you consider the here as a 31, which will come to the 750. So you can able to run one instance throughout the month, where you will be not be charged. So if it goes for 751 or 752, so you will be charged according to their standard pricing. So here in that case, here we need to be careful in using the each and every services. 750 hours for EC2, 1 GB for the quick set services, and for DB. And for DB, you can able to say again the 750 hours. For storage, they are giving only 5 GB, and for the Lambda, the 1 million connections per month. So here for each and every services, we are having some limitations. Okay, right. So now let's get into creating an account. So I think Dinesh and Srikanth is having the account already. Okay. Boss, can we register for yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so let me I will give the control to you. Please share your screen. Okay, boss, you can go on mute if you're not speaking. Okay, accept the invitation and share your screen.
Arun, I'm not able to see you.
No. I have changed the presenter to you.
Okay.
So I am going to view your mission screen. I am going to take a control of your mission. Okay, right, good. Okay, guys, now everyone can listen. And I think Shankar, you don't have the free account, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you watch it? Okay. Okay, boss, we can start it. So go to the Google and just type AWS free account. Boss?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can go to Google and please type as AWS free account. Yeah, free tier, yeah.
Can we have 2 or 3 free accounts?
Yeah, you can have Dinesh.
This one, right?
Yeah. So click on the first link. Okay. So I can click on the create a free account. So it's a 1 year subscription. Either you can give your official ID or your personal ID, it's up to you. Okay, continue. Okay, you can make it as a professional. Company name you can give it.
I don't
You can,
have
you can give your company name. No issues.
I have small query.
Yeah, Dinesh. Yeah, Dinesh.
What about after 12 months, whether they will charge what is, after 12
Dinesh,
months?
Dinesh, I am not able to hear you properly. Your
Okay,
voice
okay,
is.
okay. Whether they will charge after 12 months, 1 year?
Yes.
Okay.
Boss, you can give the country as India.
What about phone number?
Yeah, you should give your phone number. Yeah. Yeah, you can give your credit card number. So people will get scared on giving their credit card number, or they will get into panic for giving the credit card number. So which is not, they don't want to worry about giving their credit card number. So where 2 rupees will be charged for the verification, and even that 2 rupees will be returned to you in the next 1 day. This is used only for your verification purpose. Even you can make it as no, PAN information, no. We have not selected the PAN information. Make sure the card details are correct. PAN information. You have not selected the PAN information. Last. Okay, you can give it as, okay, nothing. You can give it as no. Please type the captcha. No. You don't want to give an extra. Okay, you will be getting a call, and where you need to type these four numbers into the call. You will be getting a call in the provided phone number. Now, so enter this OTP number. Okay, so you have been verified successfully. Great, without any issues. Okay, right. So you can select the free. Okay, so now You can select your role. So anything as you like. Yeah, yes. Okay, sign into the console. Sign into the console.
Sorry?
Sign into the console. The right side top, right top. No, boss, 1 minute. Click on sign in using root user credentials. Click on sign in using root account credentials at the bottom. Don't use this. Don't use this. Click on root account credentials. Yes.
This one.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Now give your password. Okay. Right. So now you have logged into your AWS account. So now you are allowed to use the services as per your wish, and if it is within the limit of the free account, you will be not charged even on ₹1 for the whole year. If it is crossing the limit, then it will be charged, and we need to pay for it. Okay, so during our training, I will be giving the instruction how to make your bill always as zero rupees. So you don't want to much bother about it. Okay. So I think it's a very simple process for creating an account into the free account in AWS. So Shankar, you can try it after the session. If you are facing any problems, let me know. I can help you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, right. Okay, thanks, boss, for sharing your screen.
Shall I stop my screen?
Yeah, please. Okay. So now here we have successfully created the account now. So after creating the account, so what are the necessary things which we need to understand while using the AWS? Okay. So here we are having some of the concepts called as okay. Right. So within the AWS services here, we are having as something called as a region and the availability zone. Okay, so here we are having something called as the region. So in the AWS, the whole environment, here we are having the two concepts called as the region and the AZ. Okay, AZ is nothing but a data center. AZ is nothing but a data center. Region is nothing but a location. Okay, region is nothing but a location. So here, when you are starting a business, let's say, as I told you, when you are starting some online or some online services, let's say like food, like Panda or Swiggy or some Biryani.com. So here you need to host your data, okay, your development files and everything. So in which data center you will be saving it. So as I told you, here it is. When you are saving the files into the cloud, it's nothing but it's a physical data center, right? So in which data center you will be having your data. Okay, so that is in a single region. In a single region, there might be multiple availability zones. So here in this diagram, in this region, let's say here we are having three availability zones, one, two, three, and here also we are having.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, Shankar. Yeah,
Hello, Arun. I'm unable to see your screen actually.
yeah. Everyone able to see my screen now.
You're
Okay,
able to see.
okay, right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Right. So here, in the any cloud service platform here, we will be coming across in a common word called the region and the here the region and the data region and the availability zone. So what is the region and what is the availability zone here? So here the region is nothing but considering your location. So it can be India, China, or Dubai, or US, or Italy, or anything. And AZ is nothing but your data center. AZ is nothing but your data center. So when you are working on cloud, people will be asking in which region you are hosting your data. People will be asking you in which availability zone you will be asking you are hosting your data. So they will not use a common, they will not use the simple terms. That is the data center and the location. So data center is nothing but, which we have discussed this, it's nothing but a physical data center which will be consisting of a storage, computing power and the networking devices. So when I say, so when I'm starting a business within in India, so here I will be in need of hosting my files into any particular data center, whether in terms of my development files or my DB or my server or anything else. So here I need to select a particular data center. So here the particular data center is nothing but the availability zone. So for one region here you could be able to see here I'm having multiple availability zones. So 1, 2, 3. So that is let's say this is India. So in India how many data centers I have? 1, 2, 3. Let's say this is China. Okay, in China also I am having the three data centers. So here when you are saving your data into one availability zone, where which will be in sync with the other data centers, so that even when there is a loss or a damage in the particular data center, your data will be retrieved from the another availability zone. So for that case here they are making the disaster recovery. So if you consider any region will not be having only one data center. It is only one availability zone. So more than one availability zone will be there. So if it is not having a more than one availability zone, it doesn't satisfies the cloud technology requirements. That is in terms of terminology, high availability and the fault tolerance. So the any region if you consider, it will be having the one plus availability zone, that will be one plus data center. Okay. Yeah. So the region is nothing but your location and availability zone is nothing but your data center. Now to be in detail of this, if you go across the AWS geographical the global infrastructure, global infrastructure. So guys, now here the picture what you are seeing here now is that is the availability of the data center which is provided by the AWS. So AWS is having the data centers in these regions. That is, you can able to see in US East. In US East, they are having in North Virginia, Ohio, and in Asia Pacific, you can able to see in Mumbai, Seoul, Singapore, Sydney, and Tokyo, and so on. Okay, so here the number which you are seeing here, so what is the 6? The 6 is nothing but the number of data center, that is the number of availability zone. The North Virginia is your region. North Virginia is your region, and Ohio is your region, and Mumbai is your region. And in Mumbai, how many data centers I have now? That is the 2 data centers. Okay, so now here you could be able to see the same in the map. So here you could be able to spot in India there are 2 data centers, okay, which is provided by the AWS. Okay, so Azure and the other cloud provider, they will be also having their own data centers. So here on the whole world, here we can able to see AWS is having how many data centers on which parts of the world. Okay, now let's consider a simple example in terms of the business way. Now if you are having the business in India, okay, so you are having your end customers. Okay, so if you are having your end customers in India, okay, so which data center you will be choosing? If you are having the end customers within India, so which data center which you will be choosing there?
Mumbai.
Dubai.
Mumbai.
Sorry? Mumbai. Oh, Mumbai. Okay. Good.
Yeah, it should be Mumbai actually.
Yeah. So when I have all of my customers within India, so I will be choosing the Mumbai data center. Okay. So even let's say when my business is growing up, let's say when I am having an enterprise level website, let's say some gaming website. So the gaming website, I think, which will be not restricted to the particular region. Okay, so where it can be accessed by the from the any parts of the world. So here, what I will do is on a common way. Here, I will be hosting my data. Okay, my data into my data into the in Asia Pacific one data center and US West in one data center and in Europe and in China and in South America and also in Canada. So here when we are having the customers from all parts of the world, so this is the best way where we can able to host our data into the all data center so that so that the latency, okay, so there will be the low latency speed and there will be having the very good performance or the performance will be the consistent. So for these 2 reasons here we will be going for the cloud. There should be the low latency speed and also the performance should be the consistency. Okay, so only by having the customers within in India, I cannot have my data center in US, right? When all the customers from India, if they are accessing the data from the US, then there will be the high latency and there will be the low consistency. For that reason, based on your business and based on your end users, you need to select your data center. So accordingly, you will be having a very good performance of your application. Sorry. Okay, right. So this is all about the region and the availability zone in the cloud environment. So people will be using the term as availability zone and the region. Okay, right. Now, so once you have logged in, you can able to notice a few things about this the type of data center which we are using it. Okay. So now could you able to see here, though I have logged in into my account, okay, on the second scale, on the second part here, you could be able to see something called as the North Virginia. So North Virginia is nothing but here, I am using the data center for, I am hosting all my services. I am hosting all my services in the US East North Virginia region. Okay, in this region there will be many data centers. So how many data centers which we have seen? We have seen some 6 data centers, I think so, in North Virginia. If I'm not wrong, let me check the AWS Geo. Okay. Yes, we are having the 6 data centers in the North Virginia. So here most of the services will be always available from the North Virginia region. The reason here it is in 2006. In 2006, the AWS has formed their data center. They formed their first data center in the North Virginia in the 2006. So here we are having all the services which is available in the North Virginia. And one more important point here is all the cloud services will not be available in all the regions. Will be not available in all the regions. Here, let's say in North Virginia, if I'm having some 100 services, in Mumbai I may also have only 78 services. So because of some government, the rules and the regulation and as per the laws, so here the services will be differing from one data center to another data center, and also the cost also will vary. The cost also will vary from region to region. So if one server for one day it is costing, let's say $10 in North Virginia, let's say in Mumbai it will cost only $8. So due to the currency exchange and everything, the prices will be differed from region to region. So this is also we should make a note when we are working on the cloud. So because we will be in the part of the decision making too. When you want to procure a server or when you want to procure a storage or any application or the services, here we need to also take care of the cost effective also. Right. So the moment once I am using the law, the North Virginia region, one. Okay. So now when I'm using this North Virginia region, the moment once I get into the EC2 services, the one of the services, so here when I'm clicking on the instances, so here we should see here, okay, in the bottom you could able to see, so then as I told you, the North Virginia region is having a 6 data center, right? So they have split, they have named their data center as US East 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E and 1F. So they will be giving the health status report. They will be giving health status report of all the time, so whether the data center is operating normally or whether do we have any issues in terms of network or in terms of any particular services. So before the hosting our data, also here we can able to have a prior check whether the particular data center is working fine or not. So here, since I'm having the 6 data centers in North Virginia, so here I'm getting the health check report that this availability zone is working properly. And if you want to check with, let's say go for Mumbai. So before starting or before creating any services, here you could able to see in Mumbai we have 2 data centers. So they have made it the data center name as AP South 1A, 1B. Okay, so now both this data center is working fine. So now here we can able to launch our instances in the so-and-so data center which is ready to use. Okay. So do you guys have if you have any questions so far you can ask me.
Yeah, this Srikanth here. I just want to confirm.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to confirm one thing. Like, I discussed a few things actually. Like, is there any thing like for any particular region this many availability zone should be there?
So sorry, come again.
Is there any limitations or is there any rule that for a particular region that should be this many data centers should be there?
No, see, the number of data centers is decided by the AWS organization. So they don't have any limit for maximum, but the minimum is 2.
Minimum is 2.
Minimum is 2. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Right.
So if in case if they need any additional data centers, so what would be the requirement?
Okay. Okay. See, if they are in need of any additional data centers, so whatever the planning done by the AWS team, okay. So where it will not be a short-term plan. So where they will be working on advanced plan of, let's say, what will be the usage for the next 5 years, what will be the usage for next 10 years. So something like that, they will not run away here and there just to increase the CPU size or storage size and everything. So everything will be in a huge size. Everything will be in the huge size to accommodate for the next 5 years or 10 years. Even if that limit is reaching, they will be having the threshold values. Let's say 75 or 80. Once the percentage is reaching the 70 or 80, then they will be implementing the next plan to provide their continuous seamless service. See, as one of the example, what I can give you is even let's say the Flipkart.com will be giving the, let's say, Diwali Dhamaka sale at the Diwali time. Let's say for 3 days. Let's say November 21, 22, 23. So only for those 3 days there will be a very huge traffic. The traffic will be double in terms of price or even thrice. Okay, so when they are going to have a large
Sorry, Arun, your voice is breaking. I couldn't hear you. Hello.
now 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 is it fine? Now is it fine?
Hello.
Shrikant, are you
I'm
able
sorry.
to?
Can you please come again? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it
So
is fine now.
here, okay, right. Now let's say
Yeah, yeah.
If Flipkart is providing the Diwali Dhamaka scale on 3 days, 21 and 22, they know that there will be a huge traffic for their application, that is for their website. So for that case here, they will not increasing their
Yes, yes.
infrastructure on the day on 19th or 20th. So from the day one, let's say from the 10th or 11th itself, they will be having enough memory, enough infrastructure so that they can able to withstand the total amount of traffic which they can able to withstand. So that is these planning will be done in the large scale. So what is going to be happen for next 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years? So in such a way they will be
Okay.
in a
What if there is
safer
any
side.
necessity like the requirement is needed some more additional data centers, so they'll be
That's what.
able to
Yeah. So that's what.
create any data centers in the very
Yeah.
minimal time of query.
In the minimal time of query, yeah, it's a good. uh,
Hello.
Yeah, are you able to hear me, Shrikant? Hello.
Hello, Arun. I couldn't hear you.
Now. Now. Hello. 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 Shrikant, are you able to hear me? Hello. Hello. Boss. Hello. Shrikant. Yeah, are you able to hear me, boss? Hello. 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 Shrikant, you there? Hello.
Yeah, Arun, it is now.
Okay, fine. So again, that is the thing. So it's not a magic. They will be in need of increasing their infrastructure in 1 day or 2 days. So there will be a very close monitoring since it is a very sensitive. So they will be having a plan accordingly. Since it's a very big organization and enterprise, so they will not take any. They will not take. They will not think. They will not take things very easily. So there will be a proper planning for the high scalability and the availability.
Okay. Okay.
So
Arun,
since because they are not having to going to serve for one client, so there will be since there are some thousands of clients, so they will be in a safer side by having a proper planning with their architecture.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, boss.
Thanks, Arun.
Yeah.
Arun, in market have a lot of server types, okay? Shared server and dedicated server,
Mm-hmm.
very cheap cost.
Means,
What
sorry?
people should prefer, sorry,
Yeah, come
in
again.
market,
Uh,
in market, have a lot of servers for very cheap rate, okay, cheap cost.
uh-huh. Okay.
Shared server, dedicated server, and a lot of things. Why I should prefer AWS or cloud computing for it's a it's a huge investment, right?
No, we cannot say it's a huge investment. So it is profitable to cut down your some of your layman job. Say consider you are a developer.
Okay.
Okay, you are a developer, so you are developing your application, but you are not having a knowledge. But you are not having a knowledge how to host it. Okay, how to host it and how should you could make your application to be running 24/7 without any issues. So here, for that case, once your product is developed, you can just create a server in AWS itself. Okay, in the AWS itself, you can able to create a server and you can just copy your files into the server, and you can able to make your web server ready. You can able to make your web server ready, and it will be accessed from the any parts of the world. So all these assistance will be given by the AWS customer support. Let's say you would like to host your application in Linux environment. So for that, if you are buying a standalone server, so you need to in process of installing the Linux server. You need to install the respective softwares. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, if you don't know how to install the software of Linux OS and you don't know how to make a partition and you don't know how to install the packages in Linux, you cannot able to proceed with that. But all these things will be done by the cloud services. So you can just have your
No, one second. Actually, for example, GoDaddy server and all that. GoDaddy, someone.
yeah, GoDaddy, yeah.
Yeah, GoDaddy is provider, the service providers are there. Okay,
Ah,
they are providing shared with the server and the dedicated server for very low price. Okay, same high scalability and 24/7
okay.
both everything they are giving. Okay, why I especially go to AWS for high price?
Mm-hmm.
There any specific advantage in cloud computing or AWS?
Any come again, boss.
Uh, GoDaddy service provider have
Yeah.
multiple type of servers, right?
Yeah.
Shared server and dedicated server for
Yeah.
very cheap, very low price. Okay, they are
Yeah.
also giving high scalability, 100 to 99.9% uptime,
Mm-hmm.
high availability,
Mm-hmm.
24/7 support. So they are
Mm-hmm.
giving everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
why I should prefer AWS and cloud computing for high price? Is there any specific advantage in this
Okay, see.
service?
As we have discussed the different service models of cloud, that is IaaS, PaaS, and also the SaaS. So here, I think the GoDaddy will be providing the platform only for the IaaS. So when you want to develop something, so after you are taking dedicated server or share the server, when you want to develop some product, so where you will be in need of the development tools and the development interfaces, right? So here that services also can be provided by the AWS. So here on the screen here you could able to see apart from the infrastructure, okay, apart from the infrastructure for the development tool. So here you will be able to see the IDE environment which we have code start, code commit, code build, and code deploy, code pipeline, Cloud9. So these are the some development services which is provided by the AWS. So not only maintaining your infrastructure, also you can also maintain your development environment too. And also for monitoring And also for monitoring your services, here we have the Cloud Watch, and we have the Cloud Trial. So day by day, when you start using the some of the services, where you will be step by step, you will be able to understand it how the AWS is unique is. Since you have used the GoDaddy, I think now you will feel the difference how AWS is effective when using it. Okay, is there any other question, guys? Okay, guys, if you have any other questions, you can ask me, else we can close the session for today. Okay, thanks everyone. So here we are closing the class for today, and
No question.
we will join tomorrow in the same time.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.